Hey guys, MrJargon here, bringing you a StarCraft II shoutcast on Ohana. In the top left as our blue Zerg, we do have EGlzgamer, and in the bottom right as our red Protoss, we have EGHuK. Now sponsored by Raidcore, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe I read that. So if we bring up the production and nameplates here, we see Lzgamer asking if it's huck. Hopefully he'll give us a response so I can confirm that this is huck, although I do believe that this is one of his Smurf accounts. So Ohana for PvZ here. I personally really like it as a main Protoss player. A lot of Zergs, or sometimes, well, not a lot, I'd say some Zergs complain it's a little bit too easy for the Protoss to get a third here. So if you take a look, come down from your main ramp, and Lzgamer called him BM on huck because he's not responding, but you take your natural and to a slightly wider ramp, which is normal for most maps. This is pretty standard, but what isn't standard is you have these destructible rocks, which lead straight into the third, which is slightly unique to, not I wouldn't say to this map specifically, but this sort of style is quite nice for Protoss, since you can wall off with some gateways here, and then position your army on this ramp, so you can either defend this location or this location really, really easily, which allows you to take a somewhat early third. Depending if huck's going to try and do that sort of strategy, we'll have to wait and see. We don't see a forge coming down from him yet, so it looks like he's going to be saving up now and going for the Nexus first. Does have a probe in, sees the spawning port, only just goes down, so he's happy with that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see huck's normal probe harassment in his mineral line. So apart from that, I really like this map for PvZ. It usually creates some not quite dynamic games. There's a lot of attack paths you can use. And the thing Zerg have been really doing lately is doing drops, loading them up here or loading them a bit further out, and then coming over and dropping straight on this high ground. If you don't catch this as Protoss, this can be the game-ending move, simply because you get onto this area here with most of your army. You can send bits of it to go pick off all the structures over here, and then the Protoss has to come up this ramp, up this way here, and if the Zerg's already positioned up here, you've got no chance of breaking that without taking extreme amount of losses. Do you see the second hatch now going down for EGlzgamer? It's a little bit later than I would have thought. But he obviously has some sort of strategy in mind here, as he is producing 6 things actually, which is a very strange amount. Just the probe going down there, but 6 things is quite a bit, considering he has no need to build 6 things right now, but we don't have a cannon going down yet, I guess. That could be one of the reasons he's going for it. You see the cannon going down now. 37 seconds, I believe that should be up by the time the Zerglings get there. It should be up well in time. So we're going to have to see how this plans out here for Lzgamer, just taking his gas now. A little bit of a strange build for him. We don't see a third hatchery yet, so we should be seeing quite a bit of an aggressive play out of him, unless he goes for the hatchery soon. As you see, the cannon is going to be up in time just for these lings. Some great timing there by huck, knows exactly what he can get away with, and like pops just as they come up the ramp. Fantastic. He's actually going to run the lings in here, and he's actually going to get a few in, but I don't think that's enough. huck bring in a ton of probes just to get rid of this straight away. And this shouldn't do too much. It might ruin a little bit of his mining time, but these lings should get dealt with, and he needs to micro that probe away, and he does. Some great micro there by huck. Not losing any probes yet. There's just one going down just there. However, the lings are down to 3 now, and the lings are going to try and go target down some probes, I believe. No, they're just going to make themselves a nuisance. But in the meantime, we do see a Lzgamer droning up, and there's the last ling about to go down. Honestly, it'll go down, guys. There it goes. So if we look in the units tab now, we can see huck slightly ahead on probes at this point, but that's normal because Zerg obviously have to spend those drones on constructing their buildings. Now that he's got the lava going, it should be completely fine. He should start to swing ahead in the work account, assuming he doesn't get supply blocked like he is now. Currently supply blocked here for Lzgamer. Do you see the third going down at 5 minutes 30-ish? That's quite late. Usually you'd see it a lot earlier than now, so it's almost like he's gone for this sort of hybrid half tech, half economy, which I'm not too sure how much I like. But we do see the cybernetics one now coming down for huck, which I believe it's quite late as well, simply because he had to spend so much time chasing those Zerglings around, losing a lot of mining time there. So we're going to have to see how that plans out. And coming up with a metabolic boost now, getting up to about halfway, but again, I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to do anything with it, so I'm not sure if it's worth getting it this early. We'll have to see. Again, he might have a plan for it. But that's about it at the minute. We can see Warp Gate Tech now coming up. The third is still going up for Lzgamer. It does look like huck's actually going to try and put some pressure on here with the probe. However, Lzgamer did just move a unit over here. I'm not sure which unit. Yeah, he used his Overlord, and he will spot this, but it won't be in time, I don't believe, because that pylon is going to be up and the cannons are going to be starting building. So we're going to see some nice cannon pressure coming out here from EGHuK. You do see this first Stalker now coming out, and apart from this, there's not that much going on. And the cannons are now built. The Zerglings are coming in, and this is actually going to do nothing because these Zerglings are here in time, assuming he can target well enough. This is a lot of Zerglings. EGHuK should be looking at this and thinking, hang on a second, why are there this many Zerglings here? This is probably not the best thing for me right now. Do see a Queen now being built at the third. Again, usually you would see the Queen be built at the second and then walk to the third. You'd have that Queen there to inject straight away or spread creep straight away, so that's a little bit worrying. We do see now the Baneling nest coming up here for Lzgamer, so it's obvious he's going to go for some type of aggressive play. That's why he got the metabolic speed early, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him work on these back rocks quite a bit. This is exactly what he should be doing now. He should be doing something with these Lings. They can't just sit idle here. When you have a unit like Lings who, they are cheap, they also die really easily. You need to keep them active, you need to keep doing something with them. There's absolutely no reason not to start working on these rocks here, just for another attack path. Sometimes you wouldn't want to work on these because then it'll be easy for the Protoss to get the third, but considering he's going for an offensive strategy, the more options he can have in terms of attacking EGHuK would be obviously a lot better. Do see double Evo Chamber now going down here, and a Twilight Council coming up for EGHuK. I'm not sure which one is the Twilight Council, it's this one here. Most likely be for Blink, and for further upgrades, as we do see now the +1 actually just being researched, so it's actually quite a late +1 for EGHuK. Has had that forge for quite a while, obviously for the cannon to start off with. So now EGHuK actually taking down his back rocks, which could be a bad decision considering that Lzgamer is going to go for this big play, or at least I assume he's going to go for this big play, unless it's just part of his strategy and he's not actually doing that at all. Macro hatch coming down now. Yeah, he's actually just droning up, so these Lings could have potentially all been drones, unless he saw something that I didn't see to make him change his mind. I'm not sure why he made them Lings. They could have all been drones, and we do see hallucination now coming up for EGHuK. Obviously to get that scouting in because he hasn't gone robotics, he needs that scouting information. And with this amount of sentries, you can use a couple of hallucinations and still have plenty enough force fields to continue on the fight. What I do like about these Zerglings is he has one at pretty much every base. He has some where probes are going to be running, so he's got nice map vision around the map. However, you didn't need this lot at all. You didn't need that many Zerglings. He does see now the third coming out, unless he's going to contest the third with these, which it looks like he is actually going to come down and contest the third with these Lings. I can kind of expect that, but now there's this many units here. Is it going to be in time? If he can get this Nexus, then I will eat my word and say fair enough, Lzgamer. But these force fields are really, really strong, and he's going to lose a ton of these Lings. And yeah, he actually done nothing with that. So those Lings, I stand by what I said. These Lings are somewhat useless. We do see the Phoenix now coming around scouting. This is another macro hatchery. He has a lot of hatcheries, so it looks like he's going to be staying on this Baneling composition quite a bit. We do see the pylon come down here, ready to wall off with some gateways. So very solid play here by EGHuK. Fully walled in, I believe, here at this base. So he's just going to position his units here to defend. This could come to bite him in the rear end if some Banelings decide to bust this and run in. But we do see all the gateways coming up now for EGHuK. He's almost, I think, is he completely walled in? No, he's almost completely walled in. We do see a lot of Lings here ready to flood the third, and he's going to run at this and think, oh no, maybe not. EGHuK's got way too much good control to handle for that. Now EGHuK is now bringing out the not Twilight Council, the what's that one called? Templar Archives. For some reason I couldn't remember the name of that. It's obviously seen he's going a lot of Lings and Banelings, so getting Storms and Archons are super strong against this composition. As we don't see really much of from Lzgamer, we do see a fourth going up. He does have tons of macro hatcheries coming up. Well, tons, I mean 2. But as I said now, EGHuK defending here, and the Banelings are going to go in the front. This is what I said could be a problem, but he does have some force fields there if he wants to use them, and he doesn't. But all of the Lings are now flooding in. He needs to use a force field. I don't think he has any. So EGHuK's really out of position here, and actually just Lings streaming in. And this could be trouble for EGHuK here, because he's way out of position. These Lings are going to do tons of damage in here. Just warp some Zealots in to try and help with these probes, but it's not good enough. Some Stalkers being blinked in here, blunking on these Zerglings. Some more Zealots being walked in, but that entire probe line just got annihilated. And Lzgamer in a fantastic position here. The only thing EGHuK can do really now is try and stabilize and then make a counter attack. We do see a lot of overlords coming up here, so they're going to have drop in them soon. We do see that being researched. A lot of Zealots being warped in. The only problem is if we makes a lot of Banelings, the Zealots then become useless. And loads and loads more Lings now streaming down. Lzgamer can taste blood in the air, and that's what he's going for. We do have a single Zealot blocking off for the third. which does help, but this is looking bad for huehue here. Take a look at the units now. He's actually down by about 16 workers. It's actually a lot less than I thought it'd be. He must have got some of those probes out. Either that or he was just building them like a boss, which is probably what it is. huehue is usually pretty much on top of his production. And here comes in Lzgamer again, which could be a bad position here for Lzgamer if he's not careful. These force fields can be key. And actually these Stalkers now can blink away from that a lot. They should be fine. The Banelings are coming down, but there is not many of left. They take out both their sentries actually. That's huge. Now Lynx still streaming to the base, but more Zealots are being warped in. I think this should get cleaned up unless a ton of these go into the main again, which would be horrific here for huehue. And he's actually down by about 50 supply now, and more Lynx streaming in. I don't see how he can actually defend from this now. There's so many Lynx, and all of these probes are going to go down. I don't believe them Zealots will be able to get enough for it. And these Stalkers on their own are really not good against lanes. Yeah, they've got blink, but once they get blinked back, then they just continue going forward. These probes on hold position, very nice touch there, but the Lynx can get in between them, continue onto them, and look at this amount of Lynx and Banelings coming through here. It looks like this is going to be the end for huehue. Looks like Lzgamer are going to take this. Jargon trying to do as much as he can, but the Lynx get a full surround on him. Jargon's not so great when he's absolutely surrounded by Lynx. Nothing's really that great when they're surrounded by Lynx, apart from maybe a Baneling. But it looks like huehue is in so much trouble. Even more coming in here, and the Baneling's going to drop onto the probes. He gets quite a few out. He's down to 50 supply, and he should be thrown in the tower anytime soon. He's trying to morph some Archons, but we just see streams and streams of Zergings coming across the map. And it looks like huehu's going to be out of this match. This is, of course, a best of one, just because it's on the ladder. I believe this was from a ladder. I don't believe this was from an on the match. I could be wrong, because I just download them. I look at them and see them, like, yeah, we'll have that one. But as the last few Archons now go down, and some Banelings flying their way over to the main mineral line, as you just see even more and more units piling in here for Lzgamer. And it's not worth warping in Zealots huehue, because these things are Banelings. They destroy everything they touch. And down goes the third Nexus, and this should be game right here. It's okay, huehue, you can leave now. Oh yeah, all of his gateways now unpowered, and no matter how many Archons you have at this point, it just doesn't matter. GG called by huehue. So thank you guys for watching. Post in the comments on how I can improve, as this is technically my first video on this channel. We'll just count it as my first, so if you can like, that would be awesome. Subscribe if you want some more. Let me know how I can improve, and that would be sick. Thanks for watching.